Hey, it's me, Bree, with my first late episode that I still delivered. So, I have a different work schedule this week, and I remember that around the time I usually record. So I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna watch Uma Musume instead. And that was a great decision for me. So, did not record this on Sunday night like usual and upload it. So, anyways, I knew where my priorities were, and I'll get right into it. Um, First off, I'm going to be talking about food because I got on my mind. I had some leftovers just a little bit ago. Um, this weekend, I cooked two things that I don't usually cook all the time. I cooked chicken piccata. This was another Chef John special where it was quick chicken piccata on his website, and I was like, wow, I've never done this, but I like everything that's in it, so why not? Came out great. I really have mixed feelings about chicken breasts with like kind of wetter sauces as opposed to like thicker or like heavier sauces. Like this relatively watery lemony sauce has a much different vibe than say like the tomato sauce on like chicken parmesan. And like then it has like different effects on how the chicken feels, right? So normally I don't really like this kind of wet feeling chicken breast because like my brain is just like this chicken is raw, this chicken is raw, do not eat it, it is raw. But I was fine today, so that was good. Well, I guess today, but also the other day. I had some of it as leftovers today. And I guess because I knew I cooked it good, it didn't freak me out like normal. And on Sunday, yesterday, I made biscuits and gravy. If I didn't do that, I could have also recorded this earlier, but we have our priorities: biscuits, gravy, and horses. And it came out really well. I did better with the quick drop biscuits than I did last time. And I was just doing drop biscuits because I don't have like any like good yogurt or cream or anything for them, so I just had to do with like milk, flour, and like two other ingredients. It was a real basic biscuit. But everything came out well. Chicken piccata and the biscuits and gravy. Had leftovers of both today, actually. I'm going to have more leftovers of the biscuits and gravy tomorrow, but the chicken piccata has been defeated. And I know I hyped that up to start, but like the big meat of this week for me was that I was spending time on a keyboard or preparing for a keyboard. So because of Chris Person's evil influence, Chris Person from Aftermath, he released another wonderful blog about the world of like DIY keyboards. And of course, I was like, okay, I'm gonna jump into one of the slightly inconvenient models, and I'm just gonna have to figure it out. So I went for a model that doesn't have any direct documentation, but is a derivative of another model that does, and another model that does, but only in Russian. So I'm out here ordering pieces of like the actual mechanical assembly on AliExpress. I'm out here ordering the PCBs and plates off of JLC PCB, and I'm ordering like the extra tools I need. And I'm like, I am just so excited to have a little project like this, just something to do with my hands that isn't like just gaming or being on my phone, because I really love this kind of handicraft project. And I know that's a weird way to put like soldering. Soldering is a handicraft project, but I really think like it provides a very similar sense of crafted excitement. But I'm hoping everything goes well. I did my best to reference all the resources I could. I was looking at videos, I was looking at like GitHub pages. I was doing all that, and I hope it goes good because I have minimal soldering experience. But I think I know at least the basic mess ups to look out for. So wish me luck with that. Because my main soldering experience was a few years ago when my current mechanical keyboard's one key died. That was the E key, and at the time I had just started trying to play Skyrim, replay Skyrim rather, and E key dying is pretty big when that's like the main interact key for a game. So I took it apart. I started like trying to resolder the key. For some reason, it wasn't working. And then I think I got it to work, and then another key stopped working, and I was like, what? I was just resoldering like the wrong switch, the wrong leads on the switch at that point, and it was a whole silly experience. But it was a few years ago, and I like to think that I will have more of an idea what I'm doing this time, like having looked at the PCB in advance, and going to be setting everything up myself. So I have to wait a few weeks for everything to arrive. I have about an entire page of emails from AliExpress for all the different little parts. I have little parts from like American retailers. I have little parts from other American retailers. I have little parts from Amazon. So I have gotten about 70 emails in the last 3 days, which is not my usual rate, but that's the cost of keyboard. So I'm gonna put off thinking about it for a few weeks until everything starts coming in. Once the trickle of products arrives, then I will begin sorting everything out and trying to make it like clearly plotted. And what else? I'll say that I have also been spending a lot of time playing Grabble again lately. One big thing is that last week I talked about wanting to do hexachromatic hierarchy in Grand Blue, and I did manage to do it with some of the people in my Grand Blue crew. I forgot how fun this game could be when you're doing actual cooperative content. The last time I really did anything, like as a group, because Guild War, it like kind of counts in higher Guild Wars when you get to burst with each other, in like Nightmare 250, but I won't get into that too much because I know most of my own don't play Grabble. The big thing is just that like it hits buttons that like other games don't really play, because like what other turn-based RPGs do you play that have co-op? I personally can't think of any, and I wish there was more market for like this sort of cooperative experience like this. I am not really an action game head when I'm on my own. There are a few action games I will play, but like I'm more prone to like really story based, like text heavy games on my own. So when I do independent gaming, it's basically either like I'm obsessed with a mechanic or I'm obsessed with the story. And that's kind of how my gaming life is dictated. So Grabble coming in with like, oh, it's a story I moderately like, okay, even if the main story hasn't updated in like a year and a half at this point, don't know what they're doing. Not gonna get into that. The big thing is just that this structure is what I wanted from a game for a little while, and it's just nice to have. And I hope I get to do more Hexachromatic Hierarch. I hope I get to do more Dark Rapture Zero, which is like the raid that came out after Hexa. And I hope I can just get to keep having fun with people I know a little bit, because it's just fun chatting. And let's see. I also played Halo 3 this week with Rhodey, and I'll say Halo 2 and 3 were a lot tighter than Combat Evolved. I'll say that. Because I think the levels felt better. I think pretty much everything felt better. I know it's not a high bar for Combat Evolved. Like, I'm sorry to the Combat Evolved fans. It's just not super for me. In 2025, I would say. It's just where we're at, you know? But, definitely glad I played through all of them again. And, like, I'm hoping I get the chance to keep just playing around and maybe do 4 and 5, but I hear other people don't like them, so maybe I'll do Reach, but I don't know if people like that one. It's weird. Halo gets weird after 3, I'm told, but I'm gonna sit on that. Big thing with Halo 3 is that Arbiter and Master Chief Yaoi is real. Weapon variety felt really good. There are some that are better than the others, but it's better to have dominant weapons than like one weapon, you know what I mean? And the ending had me so hooked, because like Chief's just going like, Cortana, bedtime, wake me later. Like, are Halo 4 or 5 still Chief games? And like Reach is the non-Chief game? I don't really know what the vibe is. I saw the Forward Unto Dawn movie when I was a kid. I didn't know it was Halo at the time. I just thought it was free on YouTube and I watched it. And is that guy in Halo 4? Is that guy in Halo 5? I don't know. Main character from Forward Unto Dawn. So I guess I'm gonna go into Halo with like kind of an open mind, and I hope that Master Chief is either there or not there, or maybe both. I hope Cortana's there. I don't know. I don't know what I want anymore. Like, 3 was just such a conclusion. I don't really want more. I'm kind of just good. But I won't complain if I do get more. Going on. So I've already pretty much forgotten what seasonal anime have finished or what, like, I'm still catching up on. I'm so bad at losing track of that, but, like, I've pretty much given up on helping that. Um, Big thing for me is that even if I did remember, I'd be basically saying the same thing every week where I'm like, oh, my favorites are so perfect. They did nothing wrong. And, like, I'm right. So don't get that twisted. I'm not shy about saying it. I just don't want to be repetitive every week. You know what I mean? Um, I feel like when I was still talking about Ave Musica, that was more interesting because... Was Ave Musica's last episode this week? I will say, my go showed up Ave Musica. Like, I'm sorry. It might just be because I like Ave Musica a little bit less than my go, but I still like them both. It's just like I feel like my go is just like the songs they played in this finale kind of made me think of like J-Rock that I've listened to, and that makes them just like a little bit more up my alley. Even if I like some of the stuff Ave Musica did a lot. Really simple bias. I finished Uma Musume season 3 as well. And I don't even want to talk about it right now because it'd be a spoiler for Rhodey, and I know Rhodey listens to these. So the big thing is just that the horses are good. I cried, and there's literally nothing new for horses or sports anime in general. They always make me cry. My big origin story with sports anime was that like I got into Haikyuu when I was in high school, and then I was like, okay, we need to get into the classics. And I watched all of Kuroko no Basket. And that taught me what sports was all about. And then I got like way more into basketball in real life too. It's kind of a bad influence. But it did make actually playing like casual games with friends more fun when I was in high school. Kind of wish I still had people to play basketball with, but I know since I'm definitely not in the shape I was 10 years ago, it'd probably not be that enjoyable. What else? Oh yeah, I started Nanaha season 3. Striker seems really cute so far. I watched the first 4 episodes, and I just love seeing my girls in like this whole mentorship position, and I'm so hooked on like the weird bureaucracy of the setting. When people say Nanaha is Gundam, I like kind of felt it in the first 2 seasons, but like I feel like it's gonna get more and more into it in Strikers and in Vivid, as like we're less like I guess given free reign for like our main characters, like with supervision, it's gonna be more like they have free reign, but they also need like approval from the superiors. It's gonna be so weird, but I'm kind of hyped for it, and I love the new kids. They're great. Next thing is I listened to the new Deaf Heaven album, and I liked it a lot. And the big thing is that like I'm so bad at listening to their lyrics, and I don't usually read lyrics on like the first listen, because like what if the song is just like better without them? When I can't understand them anyways, I usually do this. So I thought it was a really good album just based on the vibes and like the overall sound, and hopefully the lyrics will hold up when I go back to it at a later point. Mostly I've just been listening to older music of mine. I've been listening to Sonata Arctica and Rhapsody of Fire again, and they're always beloved classics in my in my house. I guess that works as I do play them all over the house with no shame. Last big thing I want to bring up is really stupid. So Gravel usually does these really involved April Fool's events. I don't know if involved is right, but like they like to play around for April Fools. And this year they just added a roguelike auto battler mode. That's right, it's rucksack battles. And I played a good amount of it. I played about an hour and a half of it. And it definitely feels quality to me. And I'm kind of like, I wonder how much balancing time they spent on this. Because, like, you can't just, like, make this out of nowhere, right? But I had a lot of fun with it. I was happy it was here. And definitely makes up for the fact that there's not, like, a April Fool's collaboration event this year. I'm not really big on collabs. I like the collabs they do for April Fools, but I'm not usually big on collabs. So this was a very fun one. I really wonder if they had to get, like, the rights or like permission for the format. If it was like still technically a collab, or if they were able to just go with it. But a lot of fun. And I got my first 10-win run like 10 minutes before I started recording this. Actually, it was while I was writing this. Sorry, I was like falsifying the historical records. It's my bad. So, I guess wrapping things up, my goals for this week are to avoid getting too stressed during work training. Big thing is that, like, if you go into it with the right mindset, work training is basically like a vacation because you're not doing actual work. You're kind of just hanging out with like your coworkers. At least at this job it is. So I'm learning things about our systems and I'm not gonna get paid more after, which kind of hurts my motivation, but it'll also let me help people more, which is like kind of its own reward. But like, dog, I'm gonna be doing like a completely different job before and after this, so I do think the pay should be graded up. That's just me though. Because, like, I know if you actually like, ask a company for this, they'll be like, okay, so before the training, we'll dock everyone's pay by $2 an hour until they have this training. Which would be a bummer because it's already not that good of a wage, but I'm not going to get into that. It just makes me feel like I wish I liked programming more and started studying a few years ago to get easier work. But that's a kind of what if, and I guess the big thing is just that, like, if I find more interest in it now, I might be able to get into it still. So it's all about just, like, finding that motivation and having that, like, actually stick as opposed to being like, oh, yeah, I like doing small projects that aren't, like, remotely scalable to, like, a workload. Like, I like making, like, little, small, convenient, like, bat files for myself. Like, nobody's gonna pay me to make bat files. They should, but they won't. And other than stay positive about work, I am like, I want to find more good food to cook. I'm finding stuff that doesn't take quite as long, but I'm hoping this week to be able to try making red beans and rice. I just gotta find the andouille sausage. Is that it? Andouille? Andouille? I don't know. I'm not French or Cajun. But hopefully I get to do that this week. Otherwise, I'll plan something else. I want to stay on top of cleaning because like I'm kind of bad about doing it all at once and then like not doing it again for months and I'm like, oh, there's dust everywhere. And then like the vicious cycle continues. So I'm hoping to stay on top of cleaning, vacuuming, all that, and donate some old clothes and books. Recently found out that one of my local libraries accepts used books, and they run a used book sale periodically. I think it's like once a month. So I'm hoping either them or the used bookstore in my area can pick up some of my old books that like I've still got like emotional attachment to, but like I just physically don't have that much space for. What else? That's what it was. I am trying to reduce my YouTube time again because there are times where I will just be putting YouTube videos on whenever I'm bored, and I don't really like that vibe. I'd rather have something that's like actually enriching instead of like vaguely enriching. I don't know a better way to put that, but like YouTube is like it's like the artificial sugar, but like the kinds that don't taste as good. You know what I mean? It's like the prototypical sugar replacement. I don't know. I don't have a better way to put that. But I'm hoping to just try to watch Nanaha or listen to the Dracula audiobook I got whenever I feel like I'm not doing anything else and should just relax. Because like YouTube is kind of just like this crutch where it's like, oh yeah, I could watch some like 4 out of 10 content. Or I could like listen to like a literary classic or like an anime classic. And it's just like, this should not really be in the same ballpark of like interest level for me. Because like there's a difference between seeing a YouTube video you're interested in and clicking on it and seeing like, oh, what's on YouTube? Oh, I guess this is okay, and clicking on that. You know what I mean? So when there's something good, I don't mind clicking on it. When it's kind of me just doing stuff I'm not really interested in, I need to limit that, and that's what I'm cutting back on now. So that's pretty much everything I have, and I'm just gonna be doing my best with that. And I hope y'all have good weeks, and let's all of us just try and relax as much as we can and avoid like tensing up when we don't need to. I've been having anxiety just kind of be higher than usual just with how work has been the last few weeks. I'm trying to take this training week to like actively de-stress, and I'm hoping that goes well for me. All right. So I hope y'all take care. Bye-bye.